We are talking of design, and I was worried about like we are more than 2 decades into this industry, and who would want to listen to this? But after seeing today's conversation in the morning, looks like we are still there, right there when we started. So let's see. And I've been given a very small amount of time, but designers like to talk for like a couple of hours and all that. But let me finish fast. So is it relevant today? And haven't we learned enough already in these 2 decades? But you would be surprised, like with the questions we get every day. I mean, especially after the pandemic, we've been bombarded with queries like, the first one is, we want to do a mall here, and we don't know what anchor sizes to put there, or what kind of anchors will come here. We have started getting from anchors, but we don't have the leasing plans. Can you do the leasing plans for us? We don't have a mall yet. Then can you tell us how much would it cost? Nothing is on paper right now, the mall. Or we have an architect in-house. Can you just guide them? Or we have the other kind of retailer or developers. We already have a mall, but retailers don't want to come to us. Half the stores are doing bad, insufficient parking, movement is difficult, storefronts are low heights, AC not effective, and so on. Like we missed the escalators. I mean, I'm still reeling from the question, like I met a developer just last month, and this mall doesn't have an atrium, doesn't have escalators. The entrance is from the outside. There are 2-level escalators coming directly onto the second floor. I mean, they were asking me, like, what should I do? I mean, you can pray, right? So how can we avoid these kind of basics? So this is, as I said, it's a very short presentation. I'll skip through a lot of written material, but I'll come to the point here. So we come to the right stuff. What is right stuff? We're not talking of any good design or wow design. We are saying it should be right for wherever you are. Maybe it's your catchment, the plot size, what functions you want there, what kind of operations you hold there, marketing, all that you have to spot right on. So we have identified these top 5 things which you cannot ignore at any cost. First is starting with the analytics, property vision. I mean, you have to be very firm on this. Then the design brief, what you give the architect. And then select the right kind of architect and the consultants who go with the architect. Right analytics. I mean, we heard this, like I grew up in the city, I know it inside out. Please don't do that, because we are talking of something very, very scientific and something which will be applicable for the future as well. It can't be like what I know already is going to work for the future. And the population growth, what is the competition going to come? The metros we spoke about. Metros are coming in every kind of city, even the small cities. So those change the equations in a big way. Getting the property vision right. So if you have the correct, your analytics, very strong base, then freeze up on the property vision, and not like I'll want to maximize my FSI and go for, I will develop as and I get the funds. That doesn't work. I mean, that kind of organic developments inside your plot, people have tried it and they don't work. And that's going to be expensive. Giving the right brief to the architect. See, it's like going to a doctor, and if you don't tell your symptoms, he's not going to write a prescription for you. People believe that he's a great architect, so give him the plot of land, and he'll come up with a fantastic design for me. No, it doesn't. You'll have to give him a lot of data which you want to do in that place. Only then he will be able to do something for you which is meaningful. Then finding the right architect who can do it for you. Well, just like a neurosurgeon is not going to do your heart surgery, please don't go to an architect because he has a great name, he has a popularity, but does he have an experience in that? Does he know what is a retail space? Does he know what to do in a retail mall? So, I mean, things might look similar. I mean, it's all architecture, right? No, it's not. You have to have a specialist. So go to a very specific kind of an architect who can give you the right solution. Get the right team whom the architect can bring together, work for it, and bring them at the right moment. It's not like I'll save some money, the MEP guy can come maybe after a couple of months of the design. No, he has to be there right from day one when the architect can feel what can do this, go on that mall, and the MEP person can also give him the right solution, or your structural person, the facade guy, your landscape architect, lighting, sustainability, all these people have to be there at the right time, and kind of the right people, just like an architect you need who has done a retail or a mall. All the consultants have to be similar. It can't be somebody who has designed a great-looking national park, a park, can't be doing your landscape. Your landscape architect has to be somebody who has done something for a mall. So, and the famous question, like how much will it cost? Then once you give him the estimate, then they come up saying, no, we don't have the budget. Guys, you are frozen on the property vision. You have to have something in mind. It can't come as a last moment like I don't have the budget. If you want to do something right, then you might as well do it, spend on it. It can't be like, fine, I'll cut down corners. Okay, we decided on this kind of tiles. I don't have the budget, let's go for something cheaper. That's going to be really, really expensive. Something breaks, something slips. No, if you think this good design is expensive, think about what the bad design is going to cost you. Let's go touch upon a few basics. Circulation and store visibility. I mean, they come with us like, I want a racetrack, I want a dumbbell. Fine, these work. They might work for you also. That's good. But the circulation, whatever you're designing, it should be in harmony with your surroundings. It doesn't start inside the mall. It starts outside. How does your plot of lands resonate with your mall, with the neighborhood? What is around your plot? There could be a metro station, there is a taxi stand, there could be a market around it. Are you capitalizing on that for your circulation or not? And below here, this is a dangerous thing to do. People do that so that they can utilize the entire FSI, but this is going to just ruin whatever you're doing. That is not going to work. Something like secondary corridors or dead corridors, you might be able to put up like 300, 400 small stores, but none of it is going to work for you. Create a wow factor. That can be your USP. And wow factor doesn't always mean it has to, like, you paint it with gold or whatever, creates a wow factor. Heights. Once you enter, like these heights create that kind of a wow factor. And why should we create that? See, people today have every kind of shopping available to them. I mean, they can sit in their living room, which is 9 feet high, and order anything they want. If they want to come out of that 9 feet high ceiling, they want to see something which they can say, wow, I want to be in this place. This is grand. I want my photograph here. I want my selfie here. Or I want to move around in this place. This makes me feel good. Entire day I've been in that office or a small home, but when I come here, I feel great. So that is something you need to create. Or something unexpected. These kind of features. Maybe your ceilings are not high, but look at the features, something like that can create that kind of effect. Ceilings, you can never go wrong with that if you create a great effect there, because most of the times you don't see what is the flooring, but ceilings you definitely notice. Something great happening on above, always like this, what you have here. You always notice that. Floors, store heights, definitely, these are welcome all the time, because the tiny stores you'll find in any of the markets around your stations or in the city center. But when you come to inside this mall and you see these kind of stores, that's a fantastic experience. Great atriums. These are like socializing spaces. We've been talking about this, where people can meet, sit, spend some time. Then the shopping actually is incidental. Or a lot of greenery. That never goes off style. That was before us. and that will remain even after we are gone. So that is going to be evergreen. It's going to be there. Keep reinventing. That is going to be the key for all the future malls, considering what we have gone through with the pandemic and what we have gone through with the technological influx that has come into our lives. Reinventing all the time, that is going to be our key. See, it's usually abhi mall ho gaya, ab kya? Abhi chalana hai. No, it doesn't. It's the reality is, moment the mall is launched, or even before that, you have to think how I'm going to make it fresh all the time. How am I going to reinvent? What is the thing I can introduce time to time so that something I can give which the competition doesn't have, something which I can give where the online shopping cannot give you. So just planning the stores and giving a good circulation is not sufficient anymore. So one needs to keep it live, which means we have to have spaces designed right at the start of the project where I can create those promotions, social events, social spaces, seasonal decors, and many more things like that which can happen. So these have to come right at the beginning. We have to give it a thought. It's not about FSI. It's not about the number of stores. It could be your events. It could be, I don't have a event happening. I could have some pop-up stores coming up, some attraction, because every time the shopper visits there, there's something going on. This is a live example. This is one of the famous malls in Mumbai. This is the mall when it started. Then that reinvention and what you see now is wow. Secondly, about 66% of your mall is going to be occupied by your stores. So you need to, the stores are going to be noticed much more than your interiors. Interiors are only for the beginning. After that, people are going to forget it. People come to buy. That is what is going to be selected. You need to have the right agency, the right fit-out agency, who can bring in a fresh look and keep the stores at a global standards. What's the future? One is we talked about sustainability. This can't be something like a Band-Aid we put on this thing. It has to come right from the beginning, and for the disabled also. We are getting a lot of stuff. These are just some names what we see in the forefront. Digital hoardings, inside mall GPS, real-time analytics, face recognition, customized ads, real-time offers, AR show windows, wayfinding signage. Okay, these pictures have been put up there. They look good. But actually, the technology which goes into the mall is much more behind the scene, which the customer doesn't see. I don't want to show those here. So to summarize, don't choose an architect who's because of the name, but choose an architect who can do the job for you. Instead of collaborating and listening to your architect, please don't tell him what to do or her what to do. Dead end and narrow corridors might give you extra FSI, but that's not going to work. Store sizing, you need to be flexible on that, because today you might have a requirement of a certain store, but as you go along, you might have to amalgamate some stores, or you might have to cut down on some stores. MEP, please don't scrounge on that. And developing a property vision is a must. You need to know your vision, what you're going to build. Parking, absolutely necessary. Good amount of parking, and even for the future. So per design, project, making at the right time. Even if you miss few months, you might miss the whole year. So that's a business lost. The competitor might take over. Sustainable design and disability. So I conclude with that. What's the future? Future is not going to be shopping, but shopping is going to be incidental, but future is going to be experiential. You have to have that vision in mind right now. How can I give that experience, and how can I reinvent and keep the experience going? Thank you, guys, and you have been a great audience.